Hi everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video, and also thank you to Burt's Bees for sponsoring today's video. I'm really excited to be sharing with you my experiences breastfeeding and combo feeding this time around. If you are not familiar with my channel or who I am, hi, I am Lex. I have 3 children. I have a 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old actually, a 3-year-old, and a 9-month-old as well. My breastfeeding journey this time around was quite different than my experience with my 2 other children, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how my most recent experience has led me to formula feeding and combo feeding and finding a formula that I can trust. So for my first 2 children, I breastfed them for a little over a year each, and when I got pregnant with my son Sawyer, my littlest, I just assumed that that was also going to be our story as well. But unfortunately, it did end up being quite different than what I was expecting. For the past few years, especially while I've been pregnant, I have been experiencing intermittent joint pain, and I couldn't figure out why that was. And I noticed that after each pregnancy, as I got older, the joint pain became more and more prominent. And I did feel also very fatigued. Sometimes I would chalk up these symptoms to just being pregnant or postpartum, but then sometimes I would feel in my gut like something just sort of felt off. And so postpartum with my son, I started to really experience sort of like a joint flare, and I knew that it was time to go to the doctor and to figure out what was going on. And so I finally went to my doctor, voiced my concerns, got a bunch of blood work done, and I ended up testing positive for an autoimmune disease. Unfortunately, when you test positive for an autoimmune disease, you don't necessarily know exactly right away which autoimmune disease it is. From there, you do have to go to a bunch of other specialists, and you need to take further testing so that you can sort of pinpoint which one you might possibly have. So it felt like overnight I had gone from being a pretty healthy person to having a potential lifelong disease that I will be facing for the rest of my life. And during postpartum, I am very sensitive to medical anxiety as well. I was in therapy for it, I was proactive, but it still was something that I was super sensitive about. So to be newly postpartum and to be faced with a potentially scary diagnosis, I just instantly felt this horrible, debilitating fear and deep anxiety, and it really started to completely affect my body. After going to a rheumatologist, I had my tests come back elevated for rheumatoid arthritis and for scleroderma. It actually was practically borderline for rheumatoid arthritis, and it was slightly elevated for scleroderma. And I was told that it's something that I will have to basically monitor for the rest of my life, because as of right now, my numbers were not high enough for an official diagnosis. For me, that was very scary, especially with the potential diagnosis of scleroderma, which could be associated with some pretty scary and unfortunate symptoms. And so I was just completely devastated, and my body I think my body just went into crisis mode. It felt like overnight I had my milk just completely dry up. I went from being able to completely nourish my child to not being able to nourish them at all. I initially tried everything. I tried different pumps. I tried to change what I was eating, increase certain things in my diet, to certain beverages that hopefully would increase my supply. And I even was lucky enough to meet a mom who is in my community who I trusted, and I was able to have some donor milk sent to me from her. And that sort of held me over until I was able to sort of increase my supply again. However, my period started to come back, and then from there, there was no turning back. I will actually go into more depth in a video that will be coming out in a few weeks, all about things that I tried to do to increase my supply and to sort of complement combo feeding. So definitely keep an eye out for that video. But I really just, after my cycle came back, I wasn't able to fully nourish my child. And I knew that it was time to find a formula that I could trust to be just a very complementing supplementation to my breast milk. So my personality, I just dive directly into something and I research until I find what I am looking for. And I went through quite a few different formulas, trying different ones to see how my child reacted to them, and how Sawyer felt on them. And I did find one that worked really well for him. However, it really just wasn't readily available. If you aren't aware, we travel on the road right now full time, and I need something that I can easily access in a store. And so I knew that I had to continue searching for just the perfect formula for our family and for my child. And that is when I found the Burt's Bees Baby Organic Infant Milk Formula. And it checked every single box that I needed it to when looking for a formula. Burt's Bees Baby Formula is not only inspired by breast milk, but it is also USDA certified organic, which is awesome. It is a complete nutrition for baby's first year of life. And not only does it have vitamin D, E, and K in it, but it also has prebiotics and features DHA for brain and eye development. It has non-GMO ingredients, it is not genetically engineered, and it's made right here in the United States. Here is the formula that we use, and it is so gentle on Sawyer's little tummy. It made the transition very easy, and for a very long time we were combo feeding as well, and I noticed absolutely no difference between when I was breastfeeding him and when I was giving him formula. For a while there, I was really struggling in motherhood and with something that I had never experienced before. And I truly am just so grateful that I came across a formula that was readily available to me on the road and that I could trust to give my baby complete nutrition that they need, all while helping me be the best mom that I can be. If you would like to learn more about Burt's Bees Baby Organic Infant Milk Formula and the other formulas that Burt's Bees has available, you can go down to the description box below and click on the link there, and you can check that out. That is it for my breastfeeding story. I am going to have another video, like I said, about the tips and tricks of combo feeding and what I had done to increase my supply. If you would like to check out that video, maybe subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you are notified when it is posted. But thank you everyone for watching today's video. Thank you to Burt's Bees for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Don't worry about the cold just yet.